Hash Your Oyster House is the perfect place to complete your holiday shopping. Now through December 31st, you will receive a free $20 promotional gift card when you purchase $100 in gift cards. $20 promotional gift cards are valid January 1st through February 10th. You can purchase online by visiting us at www.halfshowoysterhouse.com, or you can purchase in person at Half Show Oyster House, located at 115 Laurel Park Cove, Suite 105, Flowood, Mississippi 39232, or you can give us a call at 769-257-7586. And oh yeah, tell them Sonja sent you.
She say sports. She say sports. She say sports. She say sports.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Sonja, and welcome back to She Say Sports. Today I have with me Chief of Staff and Chief Operating Officer of the MEAC, and soon to be Commissioner of the MEAC, Sonja Stills. Hey Sonja, how are you?
Hello, my namesake Sonja. How are you?
Okay, before we go over it, well, first of all, thank you for coming on the show because I know you are extremely busy, but we got to talk about this name thing because it's not a lot of us. It's Sonja's, but we are pronounced, we're spelled Sonja.
That's correct.
Very, very rare.
Yes.
For the ones that don't know, our names it's derived from Russia and Sophia, but it means wisdom.
Yeah.
Our name means wisdom. So you got to have a lot of wisdom with all you do working for the MEAC and soon to be commissioner. So and then our initials are SS, Sonja Stills, Sonja Stamps.
But get this, my middle initial is O, so SOS.
Oh,
so
and
I don't know whether that is I'm helping somebody or I need help.
I love that. I love it. I'm SAS. I'm sass.
Oh, you're sassy. Okay.
And I found out that we're sorors. So, girl, you have.
Ma'am, let's do it.
So you're the best.
You are. This is like the best thing I've ever done. Okay, so this is really cool.
Awesome. So let's get started. Tell the listeners a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I am a proud military brat. I grew up mostly in Newport News, Virginia. Okay. And my family's from Bradenton, Sarasota area in Florida. So, so Disney World, that's not that. Yeah. That's
that was your thing.
That's my thing. Small fact, I played the violin from 6th grade all the way through high school. Did you?
I was all city, all state orchestra. 6th grade up until my freshman year at Jackson State, and I was a voice major in orchestra.
Oh my God!
I cannot believe this.
This is crazy.
Were you first or second violinist?
I was second, and then last year I was first. Yeah,
I was second. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Now
your fun fact.
Okay, there's other fun fact that if we do the same thing on this. I was a break dancer in a group called Lady Motion Masters, Beat Patrol Babe, growing up. So if you do that, then we.
No, but I loved breaking. And the night I went to see it at the movie, I was like 12 or 13. And I prayed and I said, Lord, I want to marry a break dancer. So the next day, we went to New Orleans at Pontchartrain Beach. I forgot. It was some type of amusement park. And I met a breaker, and we wrote each other. You wrote back in the day.
Yep,
we wrote
that's right.
Letters. His name was last name was Butler. I can't remember, but I was like, I thought God had answered my prayer. That's hilarious. I cannot believe you. Do you have footage?
No, but I got some Polaroids of me and the group.
Send it to me. I want to see it. Oh my gosh, that is so dope. We grew up in an amazing era.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. You think, because other thing, like, it was growing up. So, my dad being in the military, and he was overseas, but he, you know, sacrificed so we didn't have to keep moving. So we
Gotcha.
stayed mostly in Newport News while he left. And then so my mom worked. And so me and my sister had to entertain ourselves. And so, growing up where we did, we figured when MTV started, when
Right.
art, rap and hip hop culture, all that started, and just being fortunate to be a part of
It's
that
amazing.
era is like so amazing.
I miss the 90s so bad. It was an amazing time, the 80s. And I just told a friend today, I was like, I was listening to a hip hop song, an older one. I think it was
Yeah.
Eric B. and Rakim or something last week. And I said, I'm gonna be 70 years old singing this because this was a part of our era. I mean,
Yeah.
our parents listened to Elvis Presley or,
Uh-huh.
the Temptations, and that's
Yeah.
there, but we will be rapping.
Yeah. Yeah. Every time I think of her, like, man, we get in our 70s, 80s, and we go to these old school concerts, and like, how these people gonna be
New
looking?
Edition.
Oh my
I
God,
love
best
them.
concert ever is New Edition.
Ever. Oh,
Ever.
I hung out with them on, it was no, I'm talking about all day and night. It was amazing. I'll tell you about it later because we'll be all day.
Oh
We'll be
yeah,
all
we
day.
will.
But
Yeah,
it was
we will.
amazing time. I cannot wait until their tour starts next year. Are you going?
Oh, yes.
And
That's the only concert that I stand up the whole entire time. Yeah.
They still got it. I love them. I love them. So okay, let's get
Okay,
to
but anyways.
why we're here.
Yes.
So Sonja, and you've been a respected stable for 19 years in the MEAC. How did your career start? Because with sports, because I saw that you received your bachelor's in human resources and then your master's in counseling. So how did that switch?
Yeah, so my bachelor's is in human services counseling.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep. So, and college student work personnel counseling for my master's. But I always say I fell into athletics. So when I was at Old Dominion University and did my internship undergrad, I did it with Mindy Sofer, and she was the director of student activities. Or she was in charge of the Greeks and whatnot. And so I really wanted to work with her. She gave me the latitude to do this community service project that I did with the Greeks. It was like a week-long initiative that had we hit different things each day in the community. And I won an award with that. And I just loved her. I loved the way she interacted. And so when I got was working on my master's and I had another internship, I wanted to really, really work with her again. But she had moved into athletic academic support. Okay. And I was like, I really, really, really want to work with her again. And so I just jumped in and did that with her, and just interacting with the student athletes and helping them with their academics, doing study hall. And they're just a different group of individuals. Right. And I just loved it. And so from there, back then, they didn't have athletic academic support. Right. And so that was rare. It was still coming up. And so, it was time for me to graduate, and I started sending letters to the local colleges talking about, can I start your academic program? And fancy enough, or funny enough, I sent a letter to Dr. Thomas at Hampton, and he called me. I didn't get his call. I called him back, and then he never called me again. And so that was that. And so I jumped from there to, being Greeks. My big brothers, make a surprise, were, some of them were coaches at Hampton University. Okay. And they said, hey, why don't you do what you do there for us? And so Coach Joe Taylor, famous Coach Joe Taylor, and Coach John Wright and Herbert Parham, Coach Parham, and Coach Donald Hill Ely They were really the people who really helped me kind of get the word around about what I was doing. So they gave me a small number of students. I think it was like 4 students that I would work with and help them along and whatnot. And then, so my name was circling then, but I ended up taking a job as the assistant dean of women at Hampton. And it's funny, and another funny is when I went to interview with her, the Dean of Women, Jewel Long, she actually, her aunt babysat me. And
Wow.
our military traveled at the same time. So, and her aunt, her family stayed with us when they came to Newport News. So we were close. So
Crazy.
relationships are great, right?
Are great. Yeah. Very small world.
Yeah. So from there, I loved it. But the VP of Student Affairs, Dr. Rodney Smith, said, "Hey, do you like what you're doing?" And I said, "I love it." I said, "But that's not really what I want to do. I really want to do athletic academic support." And he happened to be the chair of the academic certification committee. And he arranged for me to interview with Dr. Thomas. And I met with him. The one I couldn't get to now. And he hired me, and that's where I started started the athletic academic support program at Hampton, and been with Dr. Thomas for over 23 years now.
That's amazing. It's amazing how God lines everything up. That wasn't even your plan, but you wanted to work with this lady so bad. That look at you now.
Yeah, because really, honestly, my thought process was I was going to be in student activities. I was going to be the one to do the parties and all that stuff and everything. And so it just went totally
totally left. In a good way. In a
great way. Yes. In a great way.
Awesome. That's awesome. So during your tenure with the MEAC, you have helped the conference make significant financial gains and corporate partnerships. Can you elaborate on that?
So, yeah, sure. So fortunately, working with Dr. Thomas so long, so every time that he was meeting with corporate partners, because back then we didn't have somebody who was specific to corporate partnerships. So working with him as he established the relationships with Nike, Coke, longstanding partner, ESPN, just being there in the room as the negotiations are going around, and then being able to give my input on certain things. And when we did have somebody in here to do corporate partnerships, that individual left. So I picked up where me and myself and Cecily Tapoya, who was director of multimedia marketing at the time, we picked it up. And we didn't know the ins and outs of it, but we learned it. And to be able to negotiate, like Dr. Thomas would be able to talk that talk. And so we had to pick that up. And, so it's great when you're in the room, you're learning and you're picking things up. So you're able to seamlessly, do it yourself. Right. And so being able to work with the Marines and secure those partnerships. I just recently worked on the new Coke partnership that's be able to give $2.5 million over the length of the contract. Those are significant. And looking at the corporate partners that we're bringing in, it has to be impactful where it trickles down to our member institutions. So it has to be where we can, with the Nike contract, is eliminating line items for the institutions where they can focus those dollars on something else, where you don't have to pay for uniforms or shoes. We take care of the bulk of that. And so those are the things that we look forward to when we're talking with the corporate partners, and internships are part of the discussion, and being able to have a pipeline of MEAC students into their particular company. So we want to be able to do things with our corporate partnerships that not only benefits them, but it's a win-win on both sides.
Exactly. This is awesome. And, not only did you have an input in the financial stability and well-being of the conference, but you also help implement academic standards as far as the NCAA and academic progress program data review. Why was that important for you to do?
That was extremely important. We are here because of the student athletes.
Mhm.
And the main purpose is for them to graduate. We know that there's only a small, minute number of students who are going to go professional. And even if they go professional, that might be short-lived, and you need to be able to have an education, something to fall back on.
Right.
And so, when you talk about when they started the APR, we knew that it hit HBCUs and lower resource institutions pretty hard. And so we needed to be able to put together best practices to assist the institutions with avoiding penalties. So a lot of things that I did was, of course, the best practices, and I worked with the NCAA, AMA, Academic Memberships Affairs staff to develop a student athlete eligibility certification. And so we would only focus on preparing the institutions to get ready for their APP data reviews. Okay. Because, we were, was famous for institutions to be severely affected, right. Particularly when you talk about turnover at the institutions and documentations, like reinforcing, you got to have documentations, creating a map of how you certify student athletes, and then making sure that you have engagement from across the campus. Everything, compliance does not reside just in athletics. Compliance hits the registrar's office, the advisors on campus, financial aid, and everybody plays a part in that. And so it's important to be able to bring those people together to reinforce what their responsibilities are. And so we created documents of that as well, so that when we have those meetings, that you walk away and there's no question about what your responsibility is when it comes to compliance.
That's true. And you made a valid point. It's so important. People have to remember, yes, athletics is a very big part of college, of the collegiate experience, but you're there, you can only play if your grades are doing well.
That's exactly right.
And, matter of fact, I believe it was 2 times Jackson State, we had the best what is it? Record. And we couldn't go to the SWAC championship twice because of APR.
Yes,
so right. It's very important. And, thankfully, that's out of the way now because we play in the SWAC championship.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, I'm excited.
Yeah. But that trickles down to when you talk about if you have teams who are not eligible for postseason, right. It affects the conference. It affects how we do our championships. And particularly when you talk about basketball tournament, when you're selling these tickets months in advance and right. You want people to come, and then you only got a certain number of teams in there, it's kind of. So we want to make sure that that's one of the other reasons why you want to help the institutions to be successful, because it impacts the conference as a whole.
Exactly. And, and the fans they want to be entertained. So you're absolutely right. Mm-hmm. Sonja, you have held many positions in the MEAC, such as Director of Esports, and you've been the lead person in marketing and branding and in the NCAA NIL. What do you predict the future is of all these areas in the MEAC?
Wow. So with first with esports, and that goes back to me growing up. Back in the day when you talk about first, is got the Atari, one of the first gaming systems. Yes, Pac-Man, Pong. That's how know. So
Galaga.
Yeah, girl. So when the opportunity came about, I was like, hey, Doc, I want to do this. I want to be able to see what we can do to kind of bring this together. And we started this, of course, during the pandemic, when pandemic hit, to find some, outlets for students, fans. But it has evolved because the presidents and chancellors wanted esports to be a conference initiative. So it not only touched the gaming part, the educational component, and then the career component. So it grew. We have a esports community, a community board. We just finished our conference play for the first time a couple of weeks ago, and Howard University swept the tournament, and Morgan State was the runner-up. So that's significant. It's very significant compared to where we were last year of just starting this out. And we're still growing, but we want to evolve esports. We want to become an esports varsity conference. Wow. And so we want to be able to for it to be sustainable. And be able to have each of the institutions. We have about 5 of the institutions who have esports centers or labs, and we need 3 more to come aboard so that we're all on the same level playing field. So we are getting there. So that's going to be significant for the conference esports. When you talk about the name, image, and likeness aspect, what we want to do as a conference is define avenues to not only educate our students, it's particularly when the students are signing contracts. Not understanding what you're signing, that you may think that you're just signing your NLI for a particular event or one-shot deal, that you may be signing your NII NIL, I'm sorry, NLI, right. Your name, image, and likeness forever. That they have control of your likeness forever. Wow. So it's very important to understand what you're signing. So, excuse me, we're going to be concentrating on educating our students and finding other avenues to help them with their branding. That's good. Because when they brand, it also helps the institution. It also helps the conference as well. So we want to be able to do that. And as it's evolving, I'm sure we'll evolve as well with that. That's awesome. Third thing you said was what?
I was branding and marketing.
Branding and marketing. That's
your baby.
Girl. Really, with marketing and branding is being able to tell your story. Yeah. And I think that's something that we had lacked in the past. I mean, we have a storied history. We have lots of things that's going on, but we haven't told the story. And we needed to find different ways and unique ways to tell our story visually as it evolved with technology. So in the past, it's okay, go ahead and send a press release and whatnot. But if people keep seeing the same thing, they start to ignore it. But if you do it visually, get out there on Instagram, you got to get them where they are and be able to tell the story and get things out. Videos, everything is evolving. So we have to evolve with that. So when we brought on 160/90, which is part of William Morris Endeavor company, that was a significant thing. The presidents felt like with the institutions who were leaving, you needed to be able to tell people that we are the remaining 8, my elite 8, are committed to the MEAC. And so how can we do that without going out and say, blatantly, we are not going anywhere, but how can we do that through the storytelling that we do? And how are we going to be able to cross brand the MEAC? And so the biggest piece that we've done, of course, with the new look that you see, was significant. That stepping into your power was a good example of that is the Corday music tour that we did. That brought us over 34 million impressions just off that. So being able to take those things, get those stories out there, that's getting the people that are in a wider network about the MEAC and a little bit things that we're doing. So that's what we're trying to continue to do. This is just the beginning, but we have more to do and more to look for. And same thing with the countdown to kickoff show that we started this year as well. That's similar to like Game Day that we did on several of the campuses and that we streamed on ESPN ESPN Plus. So those different things are avenues to get the MEAC on the national platforms and out there nationally to let people know that we're here. We're not going anywhere.
Not going anywhere.
And there's more to come from us.
That's awesome. So Sonja, January 1st, 2022 is the big day. You will be named commissioner of the MEAC. Congratulations again, first of all.
Thank you. Thank you.
You will also be the first woman commissioner in HBCU Division I history. That's so freaking dope.
Yeah.
That's so dope. In your mind, what is the significance of this accomplishment?
So, when everybody's like, you're a trailblazer, and then I'm like, I haven't really done it yet, but it is truly significant. But every time, sometimes, Lizzo is like my spirit animal. And so, when I hear juice, the line that always sticks with me, if I'm shining, everybody's going to shine. And so it's important that it look at the women around me who are going to come. I am the first, but I will not be the last.
The last, that's right.
And it's important that I use my platform and my position to be able to pull women up with me. People, when I do professional development or women in athletics that we've done for over the years, I've been around women who talk the game, but in reality, they don't pull women up with them. And so one of the things I was like, when I build my team, I have to have strong women around me. And when I talked to the presidents during my interview, and they's like, okay, what would be your first 100 days? I'm like, find another me, because I do a lot in the office, and, but not only find individuals who are like me, but smarter than me.
I love that.
I wanted the people to be able to stand on their own and to be able to contribute to what we're doing. So, one of the things that Dr. Thomas allowed me to do is be able to bring in individuals when we had positions open, because he knew that he was on his way out. So bringing in Karen Carty, our assistant commissioner of media relations, love her, not only she has that media relations background, but she has that marketing background. So it's another thing with telling that story, having those individuals to be creative in doing that. Cecily Tafoya, who is doing her second tour as our director of media and multimedia and marketing, her creativity, her social media, she's done a great job. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring her back into our team. And then another individual who is a MEAC born, and all these people are MEAC people, but Alexis Robinson, who is my replacement as the Senior Associate Commissioner of Administration and Compliance, she was my intern back in 2005. Wow. And she is, when I say smarter than me, this is kind of individual that you want to bring in here, that when as an intern, I could have to lead the office and whatnot, but the membership would not know she's an intern, because the way she interacted, the knowledge that she had, the way she picked up, and I always said, I want to work with her again. And so I was very fortunate I told her, if I get this job, just start packing. And she started last week. Yep. and so that's very significant. But I really wanted to have make a statement when it comes to women. We were always fighting to get to certain positions within athletics. So it's very important to put them in position for them to do great things, to hey, step into my shoes as the commissioner eventually. That's what I want to do. And in addition to that, when we talk about, say, broadcasters and whatnot, so we were significant with football to have Tiffany Green come in and do football. I want to do the same when it comes to basketball. I don't want it for men to be the only ones broadcasting when we're talking about volleyball for women's sports, but I also want to have a woman in there when they're broadcasting men's sports as well. We got to be able to provide those opportunities for these individuals to be seen. And so I want to be able to do that.
That's awesome. And I love the fact, because everything you're saying, that's a leader. You're not micromanaging. You're not, insecure. Well, I don't want them to be smarter than me. That's what a leader does. And I believe the MEAC will be in great hands.
Oh,
I mean, that is awesome, because you don't hear a lot of people say that, especially women. And you're right. It's some women who they say it, but they don't show action with pulling and helping somebody up. Yeah, I love that. Awesome. So when you found out that you were named the next MEAC commissioner, who was the first person you called or wanted to tell? Or is that privy information?
No, actually, it's funny because when when the search firm called me to say, hey, expect a call from President McKinley, and I was like, Cecily Tafoya was in my office, and I was like, my stomach hurts. and she's like, okay. And I was like, okay. It's like, let's put on our playlist. So through this process, I put together a playlist, and my playlist was Mary J. Blige, Just Fine, Lizzo, Rumor, and Juice, Kelly Clarkson, Stronger, Well, Don't Kill You, There's No Stopping Us Now by McFadden
and I know who you're talking about.
Whitehead, McFadden White. So I was like, oh, we can put this on, okay. And I was like, oh my God, and girl, just stomach hurt. And then he calls, and then, and it was just awesome. And he's like, don't tell anybody. And I'm like, oh, Cecil's right here. So the first person I told is I went and told Commissioner Thomas, because he has been my biggest supporter. He has been in the background, talking to the president, like, this is the one, she's the person. And so I definitely wanted him to be one of the first persons I told. Of course, next person I told my dad, and he was like, oh my gosh, this biggest smile. I knew he'd be this biggest smile ever. And so that was, and my other person is a friend of mine that I had, we've been friends since 1992 when we both went over at the same time. He's a Q and I'm a Delta, and we're both fives. So,
wow.
And so it's like my best friend, one of my best friends. And I had to call and tell him as well, because he's been one of my biggest supporters in this. And the thing about I really wanted to connect with him is because when I first started, Dr. Thomas kept saying, you need to be the next commissioner. And I'm like, nah, I don't want 11 bosses. You're enough of a boss. I don't need 11 bosses and ADs and coaches. I don't want that. I talked to, I was like, well, I talked to him about it. And he's like, it seems that you're just scared. He's like, it's fear that's holding you back, because there's no question that you can do the job. So the only reason is because you're scared. And so that conversation was one that I was like, I think he's right. I think that's the only thing is I'm scared because, we have those imposter syndrome.
Oh yeah.
We have it, I don't care who thinks they don't, everybody has it.
Everybody has it.
And so so that gave me probably the push to kind of say, okay, definitely I can do it. And it's just, let's move forward, let's do this, let's do it. And
and you have done everything else, so that's the next step.
Right, exactly. So yeah, so let's do it. Let's get after it.
I'm excited. I'm a swag girl, but I am so excited, and I will be definitely supporting you in any way I can. I'm excited for you. I really, really am. So you're welcome. So Commissioner Thomas has been a fixture for 20 plus years in the MEAC. And what kind of professional impact? Well, you've already, but just kind of elaborate. What kind of professional impact has he had on you, and how will you go about building on the rich legacy that he will leave with the MEAC?
Yeah, Dr. Thomas, that man, this old football coach, this old country boy from Mississippi, this man is smart as a whip. He has put me in positions that challenge me. When working for the conference, I always say, especially when new staff come in, they're always like, how can you be here this long? It's because it's never the same job each year. Right. So he challenges, it's like when I was at Hampton, one thing I wanted to do when I was younger was be a cheerleader, but I didn't have the opportunity to do that. But he's like, you're over cheerleaders. And I'm like, okay, we'll figure that out. But then going to the conference, he's like, you got the cheerleading championship. And, I've never done a cheerleading championship, let alone went to an event. And so, the challenge of putting that together, an example, same thing with esports. You give me the challenge in overcoming those particular challenges. And usually with Dr. Thomas would give me, say, hey, I need to do that. I'm like, I'm not doing that. He said, don't tell me what you're going to do. And so I'd be like, all right. I said, I just got to go through my process. I'm going to do it, but I just got to go through my process first. And so being able to, be like, oh, I can't do this, and to be able to figure it out, to use gotta use your resources, right, to do your research, to be able to do something, and then just the reward of being able to get something done, and people to be able to benefit from that. Knowledge, he's always sharing his knowledge, his advice. He constantly reads a newspaper, constantly sending little clips of articles that, hey, read this, I think this will be good. And just him allowing me to be in the room, being in the presidents and chancellors meetings, that's significant. To be able to hear what's going on, why we do what we do, what's the charge, and to be able to do that, but be able to network within that is significant.
That's awesome. It's, he's had a stellar career. It's amazing. And he's from the Delta, right? I think he's from the Delta area in Mississippi.
He's from Heidelberg, Mississippi.
I think that's
close to.
Is it close to Cleveland or?
I should know this. It's not close to Jackson. Where is it close to?
I don't know.
Think offhand, but you might be right. It might be right with the Delta.
For some reason, I'm thinking it's the Delta, but what are his plans? Is he just gonna relax for a minute and just?
Yeah, he's gonna he's gonna decompress for about 6 months. And then one of the things that he's always talked about is being able to teach kids, so be a teacher's assistant or something like that. Yeah, so I don't think he knows that kids are not the same as they
And
were
that's the
back in his
same.
time.
So I taught in Dallas probably 13 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I love kids, but this is not for me because I taught middle school too. So
Uh,
the girls are in betwixt, well, all of them, they're in betwixt being a child and an adolescent and their hormones, and they talk crazy. And yeah, I was like, it's best for me to go before yeah. So,
yeah.
but
Yes,
I mean,
I wish you the best on that. I'm sure he'll be great, whatever he decides
yeah,
to do. And he's still going to be connected to sports. So yeah, he'll be fine.
that's awesome. So HBCUs have been attracting some high profile student athletes as well as coaches.
Mhm.
How do you feel about the surge of publicity that HBCUs have gotten in the last few years?
I think that's great. I think it's unfortunate that it came about with George Floyd, and you
Yeah.
know that type of thing is very unfortunate that it added a light onto HBCUs and companies trying to do things with HBCUs. It is with this, I call the HBCU train. You have individuals who have fraudulently taking like, hey, I'm doing something for the HBCUs, but the institutions are not benefiting from that.
Right.
You have individuals who have done great things for HBCUs, and I don't want to discount that. But the downside of that I've seen. And companies who just want to throw money just attach themselves to HBCUs. And that's one of the things why when we're working or talking with potential sponsor is it has to make an impact to the institution. It has to affect the institution. It has to be something that we want it to be sustainable.
Right.
Not something that's just you just want to throw your name at to say, hey, you know, I'm helping HBCUs. But having the light on HBCUs when you have coaches come in like Deion Sanders and high profile student athletes who come, it makes it significant that you can go anywhere from HBCU. You do not have to go to a predominantly white institution to go to the pros. There's history between the MEAC and the SWAC and other HBCUs outside CIAA, SIAC, who have gone in the MEAC. We have great institutions academically that it puts that spotlight to say, hey, you can come to HBCU, you can get a great degree, academics, and you get a family. It's a family that comes.
It's a family.
It don't matter what school you went to, it's still a unique family, it's a unique culture that you're a part of, and you're raised a different way. You know, when I went to Old Dominion, and don't get me wrong, I loved my education at Old Dominion University. But when I went to Hampton, it's a different nurturance.
Different nurturing.
It's a different.
It's like your grandmama or your mama. It's totally different. And it's
totally
real
different.
love. It's real love.
It's real love. It's a matter of this is what you wear. Don't come in the building with a hat on. You know, at ODU, I'm Sonja. When I got to Hampton, Dean Long, Jewel Long, she said, "You're not Sonja, you are Miss Stills." So it's a different culture, a different way to present yourself, and you get that with the HBCUs. And so more attention, great, because we need funding. You know, we need funding. You know, we're lower resource institutions, but that does not negate the kind of education that you get.
That's right.
At HBCU.
And that's, you know, a lot of people, I have friends who are making past six figures that went to Jackson State. and you're thinking you have to go to, and it's nothing, and don't get me wrong, and PWIs, they have their place.
Absolutely.
There's a reason why HBCUs were even established, because y'all didn't want us there. So don't be upset, because we love our HBCUs. We love them. And the ones you mentioned earlier, that there's some that are giving, attaching their name and giving their money just because it's a trend to them right now. Thank you for the money. We appreciate it. However, put your heart in it and see, what you can really do to help students and student athletes, and just the exposure that HBCUs are getting. I mean, just help us in that way. But we do appreciate the money.
Exactly.
Let it keep coming.
Exactly. Yes. Give me the money. If you don't know what to do with it, I know what to do with it.
We know what to do with it. Right. Trust me, we have plenty of places we can put it. So, absolutely. But Sonja, you're gonna be hitting the ground running in a few weeks.
Absolutely.
Christmas is coming up. What are your plans for Christmas? What is something you want to do before you won't be able to do for a long time? Because you're gonna be busy. You're busy now, but you're gonna be busy.
One of the girl. One of the things, gosh, you know what? Because right now I'm thinking, I gotta move out that office and get it to the other office.
Okay.
I got the 2-week window to do that. So, but what I would love to do is go look at some water somewhere. So even if I went down the street to Virginia Beach and got a hotel on the water and just look at the water, and just get centered, get a massage.
Yes.
What I was telling somebody today, just get a facial. Can I get a facial? I mean, and just, listen to my spirit animal, Lizzo. And music is like a big thing for me. I love music. So music is always going on. And Netflix and chill.
Yeah. If you're able to, I don't know if you'll be able to do it even for a weekend. I went to Sandestin. And what is this, November, December? I went in October. And I've never gone. When I say amazing, just go. The resorts are amazing, and it's it's warm. It's very relaxing. It's touristy, but not like Miami or Orlando. I mean, it's very, you will love it. I'm gonna send you the information of the resort. If you can just get away for 3 days. I went Thursday through Sunday. And it was my friend, it was a girls trip. It was her birthday. So we was in the penthouse. Got massages. We did everything. We had a ball. We had a good time, and I needed that. It was really, really good.
Yep. That's what I need. I need some time to kind of decompress, because even with the announcement, nothing has stopped, and I'm still doing my job, trying to get to other things, and I'm like, I don't know what it's, I don't have time to take a break and then start. Right. Everything's rolling. Everything is rolling. So I look forward to that information.
Oh, I will send it. So Sonja, first of all, thank you so much for joining the show. But before we go, I have a game that I play it's called You Can Get With This or You Can Get With That. Look at that hip hop 90s.
There you go. So
what it is.
Let me tell you something real quick. That song is me and my sorors in the party, Webster at ODU, and that song comes on and we are
It was over, Black Sheep. Yes. Oh, I know. So what it is, it's a way for me and the listeners to get to know the guests better. I'll ask you a few questions and you choose the one that best fits you.
Okay.
It's easy.
All right.
So you've already answered one of them. So Netflix or Hulu? You just answered it.
I did, but Hulu, because I don't have time to catch my shows.
Oh, okay.
And so I can catch everything up on Hulu. So I'll hit Hulu first.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Cool.
Though I have all of the streams.
Everything. Yeah. Do you prefer coffee or tea?
Tea.
Tea? What kind? Or does it matter?
green tea, but McDonald's sweet tea.
Oh, that type of tea.
I don't,
I'm
you know,
thinking
I
you about
don't
to say,
drink
look, I'm like,
hot,
chai tea, ginger to center myself.
you know,
She's
McDonald's sweet tea. Like, I
I'm
always
like,
thought that coffee is for grown folks, and that is not for me. I can't.
I love it. Would you rather be sweating or be shivering?
Shivering.
Why?
Girl, all right. You know, I got these bangs going. Girl, you sweat, and it'd be like, I'm like, oh my God. Let me tell you, okay. I had a wig, and you know, when you're hot, man, I'd be like, oh, and I'm like, I don't even care who's looking right now, but oh my God, I can so shivering.
And you know, I'm the opposite, and I feel you with the bangs and the hair and stuff. I'd rather sweat, and the reason is I can get cooler faster than I can get warmer, I think, while I'm shivering. So that's why but
That's
you know
true.
what I mean?
That's
It's
true.
just so that's the only reason why I would choose it. But I feel you, and I am a woman of a particular age. I haven't gone to that area yet, but I hear it is nothing to play with.
It is nothing, and you will become, if you don't already, be someone who sleeps with the fan on no matter what time of year it is. I do not care, that fan goes on.
That is wow. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not. Do you prefer reality shows or documentaries?
Oh wow. Either. I don't like truth. I would probably lean towards the documentary, but if somebody died in the documentary, I know the end, so I don't want to watch it.
So you said true story. Check that out on Netflix if you haven't. With Kevin Hart and Wesley Snipes.
Oh no, I did.
Oh my gosh.
I did. And I was surprised. I was like, and I'm like,
surprised.
I was glued. I binge watched it.
I was anxious. I watched 1 through 3, and then I had to stop until the next day because I was like, it's too much. But Kevin Hart did a great job.
It was outstanding. I was like, at the beginning, I was like, I know it's that daggone Wesley Snipes.
But you know what? It shows you people are not really happy for you sometimes. You have to watch your circle. And that's your brother.
Yes.
It was amazing. It was a good show. It really was.
It was great.
Do you prefer store-bought or homemade?
I'm not cooking, so store-made. I'm not.
Can you cook or you just do not cook?
I can cook what I like.
What is that? And what is that?
So I can excel. Okay. I excel at ribs. But that's because Costco's has it already seasoned and everything. And all you have to do is add the Sweet Baby Ray's. And I'm a hit at Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Look at me.
What? No. What?
The whole thing about cooking is you doing the seasoning and no.
Not doing that. But I can really kill some, I always call them romaine noodles. You put some broccoli in one. I can. Oh.
So you take it to the next level,
girl.
So you say you add broccoli and what else?
Broccoli, sometimes just broccoli. And see, I don't like all that water, so I pour all the water out and just mix. Oh God! And then some string beans, French style string beans.
Oh, look at you! You like whatever. Girl. So I'm not a what is it? Ramen? What is it?
Ramen noodles.
Ramen noodles. I'm not really a big fan of it, but sometimes I would buy it. But I didn't use the seasoning pack. I would do garlic, salt, and butter on it. That was really good. And sometimes I add some cheese. Yeah.
And I don't use all the seasoning. I just need a little bit because just all that sodium and all that. But yeah, I haven't had it in a while. Now I want it now. But But yeah, it's salmon, anything I can put in the
Yeah.
oven, I'm
salmon.
good. But other than that, I need to stop, but DoorDash, my sister, she lives with me like 5 days out of the week because she lives all the way in Newport News, but she works in downtown Norfolk. So I'm like, okay, you can stay. So she'll cook
Well, she'll cook.
She'll cook sometimes. She'll cook. Otherwise, it's DoorDash or whatever I can put in the oven real quick.
You got me thinking about those ribs, though. Because yeah.
Oh, you gotta get the Costco. I'm telling you, get the Costco. Put that Sweet Baby Ray on it.
Well, see, and I grew up in Mississippi, so
No, you can't. Oh,
everything is, we do from scratch most of the time, and so that's why when some people, like I hate. Sometimes I don't like to go eat at other people's houses for Thanksgiving and stuff because, their candy yams are out of the can. What?
Yeah.
I can't do no.
Why are you putting sugar in my mac and cheese? Like,
oh my God. That is crazy to me.
Why?
I don't understand that. I don't understand. But I mean, hey, if they like it, I don't love it. So, do you prefer? People be like, I like it, I love it. No, if you like it, I don't love it. So it's okay.
Yeah.
Do you prefer driving fast or driving slow?
Fast.
What's your speed? How fast you be going?
Okay, so I have an Audi S5.
Oh, you got to go fast in that. What color, white or black?
A white. Girl, now let me knock on wood. I haven't got a ticket yet.
Please don't. I'm knocking with you.
Knock on wood. But when sometimes you don't know you're going that fast because sometimes you're in that zone.
The music, yeah.
And the music, and because it doesn't, once you get to that speed, you don't know you're going that fast.
Right.
But so I definitely try to watch my speed. Do not endorse speeding. But I love the first thing when I bought this car, the guy, the dealership, taking on the test drive. Mm-hmm. He started driving first, took me from 0 to 60 in like 7 seconds, and I fell in love. It was awesome.
That's really one of my favorite cars. I love that car, and white or black, especially white, would be the color. So girl, we are we're Twinkies.
We are.
Do you like to plan or you like surprises? Okay.
If it's work related,
yeah, I'm planning.
I want to plan. Personally, surprise me.
Yeah. I'm a planner, kind of like all aspects in life, but I love surprises. I love giving surprises, and I love being surprised.
Yes.
But yeah, certain stuff I'm like, I can't stand not planning it. So yeah. Are you an introvert or extrovert?
I am an introvert with extrovert tendencies.
But people don't believe. Okay, so Sonja, people don't believe it because I sing for the Mavericks. I've been singing for them, Dallas Mavericks, since 2013.
All right.
I have a band. I got this show, and they're like, "Girl, you're not shy." No, that's my gift. That's different. But I am really an extrovert with introvert tendencies. I'm so glad you said it.
Yes.
Tell me why you think that.
So I would prefer it takes a lot of energy. So if I go to an event, you have to come to me before I go to you. Because and it is just because I feel like I'm socially awkward.
Really?
I always think that. You don't see the girl. And it takes, and so it's like when you're on, and it takes a lot of energy. So I don't want to stay long because I need to come down. It's too much. So I get like, I'm like my mom in that respect, that introvert, but I'm like my dad, like, oh my God, I gotta be in the party. Like, okay, got it. Celebrating my day party with the the jingle jam. Oh, I gotta be out there. I gotta be, with that. But in the group, I'm probably going to be the most quiet in the group. So I'm not the one that's always out front. Yeah, I usually stick to the back because, and I want to bring somebody who's going to be that person that's out, so that I don't have to carry the conversation the whole time. Yeah.
And see, I'm the opposite. Now I'm the loudest in the group, and I'll say that because I love to dance. Like when we go out, homecoming week from Wednesday until Sunday, we get like maybe 8 to 9 hours of sleep.
Oh wow.
I'm serious. So, I love to dance. I'm laughing loud. I like doing that.
Yeah.
And my friends, I was the one that they would push out first to, like, if we go into a game, I had to walk in first. I had, I was always the first one. They didn't want to do it. So, but I can pull back really, really quick. Mm-hmm. I was born in July. They said your birthday. July what?
8th.
I'm finna hang this. I'm July 20th. So I'm on the cusp of Leo and Cancer. But that crab thing is real.
It's real.
It is so real. I pull back. If I feel uncomfortable, I'm out. Yep. And everybody, what's wrong with you? White? Nothing is wrong. I'm observing and I'm just chilling right now.
I just want to observe.
Born in July.
Yes. It's crazy.
This is bananas. I don't understand. So our parents, well, I'm not gonna ask you what year. I'll ask you that after, but I wonder if my mama and your mama naming a son. That is crazy. Unbelievable. I used to hate my name when I was little too, because I never knew anybody named Sonja, not even Sonya. I ain't nothing. My sister name is Stephanie. My brother name is Glenn. And we call him Chucky because Charleston is his middle name. And my dad he's named after my grandfather and my dad. So everybody I was like, I don't have a name that everybody knows. Mm-hmm. And when I got 9th grade, in middle school, what was junior high school back then, I met a Sonya. Still was not my name. Then I met a La Sonja.
Yep.
And I didn't meet a Sonja until I moved to Dallas 20 years ago.
Yeah. I actually growing up, going to Disney World, your name is not on them lists.
Yeah, but none of the keychains.
No, but my nickname is Bonnie. Yeah. So my mother liked this when they were overseas. My mom liked this name. That song Sunny. Oh, yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. And so it went from Sunny to Bonnie, and that just stuck. So I know when I'm out somewhere and somebody calls me Sonja, I'm like, okay, it's probably somebody from school or something like that. When they say Bonnie, it's got to be somebody from the hood, or it's got to be family. Hood.
Family. They know, right? They know you.
Yeah.
Right. That's true though. Wow. So that's crazy. I already kind of know the answer to this. Fruitcake or eggnog?
Eggnog. Oh my God. And then throw something in the eggnog.
But look, I don't even know anybody that eat fruitcakes, and they still make those. Yuck.
And they religiously, no.
No, thank you. I appreciate it, but no thanks. Last one, education or experience?
Oh, experience.
Why? And I agree. Why?
Let me tell you, depending on what you do, sometimes you don't need an education. It's the experience that you bring to the table. And I actually learned that fairly recently. When you talk about somebody who's creative, they don't necessarily, it's the experience that they hone their skill.
That's right.
So experience, you can have all the education that you want, but doesn't mean you have street sense. So it's the experience that you go through.
That's true.
And if you use your education, you still need the experience behind it. Whenever
Mickey
you learn
Harris
in the
said-
book, doesn't have like the real time application.
Right. That's true. That's true. I mean, Mickey Howard said experience is a good teacher. I mean,
Right.
it's absolutely true. Sonja, it has been a pleasure. You are extrovert, I am too, but we act like we've been knowing each other for years.
I know, which is great.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. And please tell the listeners how they can follow you on social media.
You can follow, oh my gosh, girl. Follow me at was it SOS Stills, SOSTILS on crap, where am I at?
Instagram.
On Instagram. I'm on
Twitter.
Facebook.
Okay.
You just put my name in for that, and also on LinkedIn.
Linked. Okay, cool.
Yep.
And guys, you can follow me at She Say Sports on Facebook, She Say Sports 23 on Instagram, at She Say 23 on Twitter, and please subscribe to our YouTube page, She Say Sports. Well, that's my show for today. Until next time, this is Sonja with She Say Sports.